problem. I would like to introduce
Bigfootspad Paranormal Investigations Team.
Welcome to another edition of Bigfoots Pad Paranormal Radio. And on the line with me today, I'll let my co-host introduce themselves.
Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Nick. Sorry.
Brent on the line.
And Tim.
In today's show, we're going to talk about a little bit of open lines. We haven't done one of these shows in a while. For those of you who don't know what that means that basically we don't have a set topic for today. We'll just kind of do whatever goes with the flow. I didn't get any news stories for today, but something interesting I found out. There is a ghost hunter that we're in contact with, or that I talk to occasionally. I'm not supposed to say the name of this ghost hunter, but he's on TV on the Travel Channel, and apparently he was doing some sort of an investigation. He came across a human skull at this investigation. So he took this skull home to it. He took it home to when he came back from his trip, and apparently there's poltergeist activity and demonic activity in his house now. I said, what do you guys think of that?
He's a moron.
What do you think, Brent?
Kind of strange.
Well, didn't Penn from Penn and Teller have a human fetus in a jar?
Something like that, I think. I'm not.
So maybe him and that ghost hunter are like friends or something. I don't know.
Isn't that's basically that's the very first thing you learn is don't take stuff from wherever you go. Well,
that seems like common sense.
Yeah, not for some people.
Yeah, no. When I was younger, my friend and I went to an alleged haunted cemetery from the Revolutionary War, and I was only like 11 or 12 years old. My friend was a couple of years older than me, and when I was about to take this old device, I don't know, it was some colonial device, it was on the grave, and it was really rusted and old, and I was about to pick it up and take it, and my friend slapped it out of my head and said, "What the F are you doing? You're not going to bring that into my house," and everything, all the ghosts coming back for their revenge and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Even as kids, we could figure it out.
So they did or didn't?
Oh, no, I never did. I didn't take it. He slapped it out of my hand and told me I better not do it. Otherwise, he's going to punch me in the face. So.
Well,
wow.
Here's a weird article I found. It says Swedish treasure hunters struck upon a mysterious disc-shaped object at the bottom of the Baltic Sea. Kind of weird. If there's a video to go with it, but, I mean, it'll interrupt the broadcast, so I can't really watch the video at this moment. But pretty weird. I know we had a Frank Pacino and Fenton Friedman were on our show being interviewed, and they were talking about finding the Swedish expedition ended up finding some wreckage of he thought it was a USO or a UFO underwater, I guess you could say. I don't know if you guys remember that or not.
Yeah, I think I remember that.
Well, something you have to think of. All right. What would they be doing underwater? And while they're down there, that is a perfect place to hide. I know, Nick, you said you had a good theory on this on the last show that we had.
Oh, yeah, I said, you have places like the Marianas Trench, which are miles deep, so, and the water pressure is so great there that no human thing can even go far that deep down, I don't think. I don't even think we have anything right now that can go to the bottom of the Marianas Trench, because the water pressure is so great. If you drop a soda can down there, it'll be compressed into like a little pellet, because the water pressure is just crazy strong. And I figure that if you're going to come visit the Earth and you have something that can withstand the pressure, why don't you go hide down there, because no one's going to come looking for you.
Well, like you were saying, you figure no one would be able to come down there and look for you, but at the same time, there is not nearly as many people in general that would be in that area from their perspective.
Yeah, there's not a lot of people out on the high seas that are actively looking for UFOs.
Well, this one kind of goes with Brent, but we usually talk about Brent. It says, it's the LAPD experimenting with drones over LA over the city. I guess it says, surveillance cameras already dot the city streets. It's the LAPD exploring the use of even more eyes in the skies in the form of drones. Some point to yes. It says a website named the Gay City News posted an email that says it acquired from the Freedom of Information Act. This is from a detective in the Counterterrorism Division asking the Federal Aviation Administration about the use of unmanned aerial vehicles as a law enforcement tool. And apparently there's pictures of these drones flying around the cities and things like that. So,
wow. Yeah, I knew that they were doing that already, and the fact that the United States military was using them in war made it... but the fact that the United States was using it in war established a precedence, or established a route to use it on civilians, because a lot of things that are done in war eventually end up finding their way onto domestic soil, and then those things are done to civilians. And that's evident with this, as well as a lot of other things. They started using drones to spy on terrorists and other people overseas. We're going to do the same thing to our citizens here.
Well, I was going to say, what do you think about that, Brent?
I don't know. I have yet to see them use the drones and stuff. I mean, other than that, I mean, I've heard about it, but I don't think I've seen them use them yet.
And a question that's coming to us is saying that since you live in that area, I was going to say a question that I'm getting asked is, are you going to keep an eye out for them and let us know if you find one or see one?
Well, it's kind of hard to look for them, because I mean, I live close to an Air Force base and a NASA test center, so I mean, I'm constantly seeing global hawks and different kinds of unmanned aircraft flying around the area. So it's not a uncommon sight to see those in Palmdale.
Because you live like an hour from there, don't you? Like from the LA?
Yeah, I live at like an hour from LA, yeah.
Becky just called in. You on, Becky?
Yeah, but I'm confused.
What's going on?
It's like I'm hearing two conversations at once. Oh wait, never mind. I think I know why.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, I have like losing my voice for some reason right now.
The video for the show had started playing, so I was hearing it twice, but it's fixed now.
Well,
okay.
Here's a good one. An article published in the Solar System Research magazine reported several objects resembling living beings were detected on photos from 1982 on a Russian landing probe on Venus. It says there's a guy named Leonid of the Space Research Institute of Russia published research that analyzed the photos from the Venus mission that I was telling you about from 1982. It's called Venus 13, it says the name of the probe. The photos feature several objects which Leonid says resemble a disc, a black flap, and a scorpion-like feature-looking thing. All of them emerge, fluctuate, and then disappear, the scientists said, referring to their changing location on different photos and traces on the ground, almost like footprints. What if we forgot about the current theories about the non-existence of life on Venus? Let's boldly suggest that the objects, morphological features, would allow us to say that they are living, says the scientist. And no data proving the existence of life on Venus so far has ever been found. So they said it's 867 degrees Fahrenheit is the average temperature there.
That's hot.
Yeah, well, on Earth, as far as microorganisms go, there could be microorganisms at the very minimum there, because there are microorganisms or type of bacteria on Earth called thermophiles, and they only can survive in extremely hot temperatures like 800 degrees Fahrenheit. So there could be microorganisms living on the planet, but I don't know about any macroorganisms or things like humans and dogs and cats and stuff like that.
Well, you could survive there, Nick.
Oh, of course I could. I can just walk into like an 800-degree planet with an atmosphere made of methane and hydrogen. And I'm really an alien from a secret planet.
Well, Brent, personally, what do you think? Do you think that there could be, maybe there was a spaceship on the planet at that time, or do you think maybe it's just nonsense, or what?
Which planet are we talking about?
Venus.
Venus?
Mm-hmm.
I could hardly hear you.
Oh,
no, Venus, like, you're my fire, oh, like that Venus.
The planet Venus. Some Russian scientists were saying they see.
That didn't sound right, did it?
You said Russian scientists found what?
Oh, from 1982, they were taking pictures on the space probe, and they thought they'd seen like a scorpion creature and a spaceship on the planet.
That's interesting. I've never heard about that. But it sounds like there. You said what was the question you were asking?
I was saying, what do you think about that?
Oh, I don't know. I find it kind of strange that were they pictures, like Hubble telescope pictures or something?
It's from called Venus 13. It's a space probe that they had, but pictures aren't on the article that I'm looking at. It just shows like a picture right now, like a real-time photo of it.
So they have pictures of a scorpion creature from Venus. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, well, that's what they were saying, but the pictures aren't on the article, so I'm not sure what it looks like.
Because, I mean, if there was a picture of it, then I think people would be more inclined to believe, I guess, that there would be, life on Venus. But, I mean, I don't know anything about that. But did they say how big the scorpions are supposed to be? Because I'm just curious. Are they supposed to be normal size?
No, it didn't really give any, dimensions or anything. Well, something interesting. I was looking around on the internet, and as you guys know, there's a guy named Bill, who we've had the show a few times. He was talking about a reptoid, which is sort of like an alien, for those of you who don't know. It's like a reptoid, alien-like creature. He was saying that he was reporting that they were going to take over the world, apparently, and that was his theory. I found another guy. It says subculture of Americans prepare for reptoid civilization collapses. I'm not going to read the whole article, but basically it's saying that there's sort of like a big group of people that think of it almost like a religion, that the reptoids are going to take over the world.
Man the battle stations! Right away!
No, those are the ones that are supposed to be associated with the, like, hollow earth theory, that they're actually in the earth and they've been here for, well, before we were even here. That they were actually, like, the first inhabitants, the reptoids. Now, is that kind of what, like, the X-Files plot is about, pretty much?
Tim and Brent know more about the X-Files than I do.
I think it's at least partially based on that.
I think I know what you're talking. I think I know what you're talking about.
Alright, well, I found something really disturbing. It says, South Korea turns human ashes into beads. South Koreans who dread the idea of keeping relatives' ashes in urns can opt to have their remains turned into gem-like beads and placed in a dish or on a necklace.
That's actually kind of cool. I think that's neat.
Would you wear beads like that, Brent?
What's that?
Would you wear beads made out of your dead relatives?
Oh, beads. That's interesting. Yeah, I probably would.
So if all of us, if three of us die in an accident on a trip, Brent, you're going to get us all cremated and wear us in beads?
More than that. I'll make you an anal.
I could see how some people would think that was creepy, but at the same time, it's kind of like, you know, when people wear lockets and they have a picture of someone that, you know, they love that has died. I mean, it's kind of like that, but you have their ashes around your neck. I mean, that might make someone feel very close, that person who has died.
I was thinking, what's kind of weird, though, is what if you forgot they're made out of your dead relatives or something, and like somebody doesn't tell you that's what they are, and then you kind of give them away or throw them out or something?
That could weird somebody out, yeah, if they don't know.
Or you randomly buy this necklace from somewhere not knowing, and you're wearing it around.
Well, then what if it was haunted, like that skull I guess you guys are talking about? I wasn't here for it, but someone in the chat room is talking about some skull that someone found and took home, and now they have poltergeist. So what if you're wearing a necklace of someone's ashes and you're haunted by the person, the dead person from it?
Put the beads in the skull and then bring them both home.
Exactly.
But there was a ghost hunter on a TV show that we talked to once in a while, and he brought a skull home that he found on an investigation, and I guess apparently there's ghosts haunting him all the time now and poltergeist activity, and he was saying they're going to cancel their show eventually if it doesn't stop, is what they were saying.
Wow. This is someone from one of the paranormal shows?
Uh-huh. I don't want to we don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to release their name.
Well, I have an idea of who it could be, but I won't say it.
We talked to somebody for a few years, that a little bit before they got famous and all that, so we keep in touch with them.
Yes, but who I'm thinking it is, I wouldn't think they'd cancel their show because their show is so big, but maybe I'm thinking the wrong person, I don't know.
Brent. All right, Brent.
Hell, what's going on here? Someone's like saying, it's Brent. Where's Brent?
What's that?
Oh, that was Jer.
I joking. We're talking about. Oh, why? Am I sound like I'm far away or what?
Yeah, it sounds like you're really far away.
Jerry's getting kidnapped right now by a UFO. He's going, Brent, where's Brent? Help me.
It's listen to this.
Did you want me to call back and see if it fixes it?
Yeah, you could try it.
All right. I'll be back.
Well, there's a couple of people that are talking about I was reading the chat room. Once I got sidetracked here, sorry. But we have a couple of questions from last week when we were talking about the Mothman. Here's some questions I didn't get around to asking. So, Nick, we were talking about Mothman footprints and Mothman this, Mothman that. So a question that kept coming up on... What's that? Oh, well, the question that kept coming up was, okay, Nick, if you were to try to take one of these Mothman footprints or sound recordings, where would you go to get these?
Well, to get a sound recording of a Mothman, you'd have to go to the locations where they're frequently spotted, just like you would to go get a Sasquatch sound recording or a sound recording of anything for that matter. You just have to go where you think it's going to be.
Well, as far as taking a footprint cast, then, how would you find one, or where would you, like, if you were to look for one, where would you go to look for it, knowing that it likes to sit up in trees and things? How would you get that, or where would you go to find one?
Well, finding a Mothman footprint to make a cast out of it would be a lot like finding a Sasquatch footprint. Again, you'd have to go to the location or locations that it is frequently spotted, and you just kind of have to have some luck. You need even more luck trying to find a Mothman cast than you would a Bigfoot one, because, as you said, Jared, the thing spends a lot of time in trees and off the ground, so you just have to pay attention when you're in an area such as the TNT area in Point Pleasant, and you just have to kind of come across it and be ready to take it at that time that you come across it.
I don't think I've even heard of a Mothman footcast before.
Oh yeah, there was someone that claims they found one on one of our interviews we had like 2 years ago.
I've never heard that. You hear about Bigfoot, but I've never heard about a Mothman footcast. It's interesting.
Well, or you can get a Nick's house because he is the Mothman for you.
Yeah, I turn into Mothman at night. It's like a werewolf, and just fly around, and it's really cool. Chase cars and make people scared, that type of thing.
So I was gonna say, Brent, do you have any sort of interesting things that you want to bring up for the time being?
Right now, not really. I don't really have any stories on mind right now.
Well, I know a funny story that could involve a government conspiracy or cover-up.
What was it?
Well, okay, I'm not going to get super political here, but I'm just going to say something I've seen here in the news recently. There's a court in Georgia where a couple lawyers have challenged Obama's eligibility to be president. And they've sued him and asked him to provide credentials in a Georgia court. And according to the state of Georgia's law, you can do that. And the judge has ordered that President Obama show up in court to do this. But obviously he hasn't, and he probably won't. So there's talks of perhaps going and arresting him from the White House or something. It's pretty crazy. And then the other day on CNN, a reporter was talking to somebody, and then the reporter asked the person a question about Obama's Social Security number or something, and then the broadcast kind of blacked out. It was stopped due to technical difficulties or some reason like that. So when someone started asking about Obama's identity, the TV station looked kind of weird, and they stopped that portion of the broadcast.
Like
so, just to say that, it's bizarre. Maybe it's just a coincidence, but it's an interesting thing to think about. Maybe it is some type of a cover-up with that going on. I just figured I'd throw that out there for last.
Well, after my article finally loaded, I wrote, Did Egyptians come across the Pacific Ocean and wandered the American Southwest thousands of years ago? In the early 20th century, claims of such a discovery was made by two Smithsonian-funded archaeologists who spoke of a thriving civilization tucked within a series of caverns carved into the side of a remote portion of the Grand Canyon. And it says, what did the archaeologists find, and what evidence did they bring back? And it says, did these men even exist? I guess apparently somebody in the Smithsonian came across the old newspaper, and it had a couple of artifacts with it, like little jars and things like that. Pretty interesting. I don't know what you guys thought about that. Do you think that could be possible, that something like that could even exist?
Yeah, it's not too far out of the normal possibility.
Well, I missed it. What did you say they found?
Oh, some people in the early 1900s claim that they found like Egyptian remnants. Like some people were alive and they found like a civilization tucked away in a bunch of caverns in the Grand Canyon.
You said the Egyptian people were still alive, or these people were corpses?
Both.
They were alive, or?
Some were alive and some were dead.
Oh. Huh.
Yeah, it's interesting. That kind of gets into the whole transatlantic thing before Columbus. There's a lot of debate as to really how advanced the technology was before Columbus and if any seafaring peoples existed. Because I know that there's theories like perhaps after the Jews were exiled by the Babylonians that somehow they made their way across the Atlantic Ocean and came to America, and now the Cherokees are the descendants of them, and that they're one of the lost tribes of Israel and that. And there's also other theories which say that some Polynesians came down from some islands out in the Pacific and settled in Southern California and made a few colonies there. There's obviously the Vikings when they came down and settled at Newfoundland in Canada. We know that's definitely a fact because we have their buildings left and their pottery and the document. There's many different types of evidence to support that. So could some Egyptians have come over from northern Africa and settled in the United States? Perhaps, because there's a lot of things we really don't know. And there is one thing that's interesting. In Egypt, they were looking at some mummies, and they found trace amounts of cocaine in the mummies' bodies. And cocaine only grows in South America. So that raised a possibility that perhaps there was some transatlantic trade going on thousands and thousands of years ago where cocaine somehow made its way over to Egypt.
So you're saying that you do think that the Egyptians could be over here?
Yeah, maybe not Egypt. People of Egyptian descent who probably intermingled and intermarried with some native peoples, and we could have kind of a synergistic mixed culture of Indian and Egyptian peoples living here. I would doubt that. It's totally within the realm of possibility, especially if the practices of these people are very similar to the Egyptians. That's good evidence right there to give testimony to the fact that this could and probably is true.
Well, something I thought you guys would like. It says somebody is offering $1,500 for a photo of the Loch Ness Monster. And apparently, it says in the past 7 years, there's been very, very few sightings of the Loch Ness Monster. And they said that the sightings are so low that they said that they think that it might have died out, or maybe something's going on, is what they said. but apparently, says somebody got a picture of the Loch Ness Monster last year, and his prize was $1,000. I guess now it says it's up to $1,500.
Wow. I'm surprised there wouldn't be. I mean, I don't read that much into the Loch Ness Monster, but I would think a lot of people would be trying to hoax that to get that money. I would think a lot of people would try to fake pictures for that, but I don't know.
Right? Brent tried it, but they didn't give him his prize money.
I'm still waiting on prize money for something, for a poetry contest I won. I'm supposed to win some paranormal prizes, but I haven't gotten them yet.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was back in. Well, I won in early November, and I've been waiting. It's from the people are supposed to send me the prizes are over in the UK, and they keep making it sound like they're going to send them, but I don't know. Guess we'll just see.
We have a caller, and Brian, you're on.
How you doing?
What's going on?
Can you guys hear me okay?
I can now.
You're next, player.
How's that? Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. I've been listening ever since you started it. Just enjoying the show, listening to what you guys are talking about, and I host ghost tours in Galveston, so they actually pay me to tell ghost stories. I don't know how they do that, but I love doing it, telling ghost stories. I'm going to do a tour tonight, but I had a ghost story I wanted to share with you.
Oh, go ahead.
All right. I was given a tour. After the tour, a medium came up to me and claimed, she was a medium, and she said, "Do you know an Edward?" And I said, well, my middle name's Edward. That's probably what you're picking up on. She said, okay, well, there's a little girl named Annabelle that follows you around on your tours. And I said, well, thanks a lot. And so I go home, and I go online just to see if anybody knows about this Annabelle. So I type in Galveston Ghost Annabelle. And lo and behold, one of the spots we actually talk about, some investigators went in there and claimed that a little girl named Annabelle haunts that building. Now, I think this may have been the same ghost that followed me home. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's the same one, but I live on a boat here in South Texas, and ever since high school I've been collecting musical instruments, and I finally got an electric drum set. And if those of you know about an electric drum set, there's wires plugged into all the pads and everything like that. But my wife was crocheting a blanket, and she put the blanket in the ball of yarn on top of the microwave, and the next day I woke up and noticed that the yarn was intertwined, all the wires in the drum set, and then across the room underneath a 200-pound amplifier, and then back around, intertwined all the mini blinds, and then back around lying on top of my guitar. And I brought my wife in, and I said, what do you think of this? And she said, why did you do that? I said, I didn't do that, but do you know how that could happen? And she looked at me and basically said, okay, whatever you brought home with you, get rid of it. Now, if I was single, I would have set up a video camera and had the best show on YouTube, I think. But
a real paranormal activity.
You know, but it was making a mess nonetheless. But I did what my boss said. Dash, he said, well, first off, I told him, I think something followed me home, and he said, well, you signed the contract. Sorry, buddy. And I said, well, no, but seriously, what should I do? And he told me, just tell them you acknowledge their presence, but they need to leave. And if that doesn't happen, then it's an evil entity that you need to do something else about. But I said, thank you for being here, and I if there's anything I could help you with, I'm here to help. Talk to me, show yourself, but stop making the messes. And after that, nothing happened. But I just wanted to share that with you guys because I love this blog talk radio thing. Connecting with everybody on these shows. It got me to create my own show on here, which is really cool, and I like talking to you guys and everybody else. So
the medium.
Thank you.
The medium. Were you skeptical of her whenever? Because you said just thank you. Were you skeptical when she said that she had a...
No, I didn't say that in that manner. And I said really, I got into it with her, and she said it appears like a little girl, and no, I did appreciate her telling me. No, I wasn't skeptical. No, I was just being funny with you guys.
Okay. See, I didn't know if she meant that she was always following you around, or she just felt like she was following you around just in that one instance, like, or if she does it all the time, if she felt like she was actually a spirit that was attached to you.
That's why when I do the tours, I kind of whisper to myself, if you're here tonight, I'll help. Because I know that's just what they want. If they're aware of their existence, they just need some help. And that's all I try to do every time I'm out there.
So after you told it to leave or go back where it came from, you stopped feeling or seeing things, or you think it might still be there, just like kind of died out for the time being?
I think the way I said it, I said you need to leave, but to keep in touch, because I know my wife isn't so into that stuff. But I don't think she's here, whoever it is. I don't think they're here anymore. No, I don't feel it.
Say, what do you think, Brent? Because what do you think about Brian's story?
I didn't really hear all of it. I was in the other room for a second.
Oh, but
I
said that it was a 200-pound amp that he lifted up, you said, or the ghost lifted up?
I don't know how that happened. I saw the yarn that was underneath this amp, and I was just amazed by it.
Yeah, that sounds almost like poltergeist, just because of, they do those strange things where something will get stuck in a spot that it's like, how is it able to do that? Or they'll stack things that look very unnatural and shouldn't be able to be stacked that way. So that's just, it sounds like it could have just been the little girl or a spirit obviously trying to get your attention and show that they were there. But
sure.
Yeah, that's a really cool story though.
Well, thanks. Thank you guys.
Luckily they respected what you asked them to leave, so and they did, so it wasn't anything negative or.
Yes, luckily it was. Yeah, you're absolutely right. But that's it. I just wanted to let you guys know about that and saying that I'm enjoying the show. I'm going to listen in and follow with you guys, and I'm on Blog Talk too if you want to catch up with me.
Oh yeah, you can share your link if you want or your show name.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. Because it's all about connecting everyone, trying to inform everybody about, some truths and stuff they don't want to talk about, But, yeah, I'll do that. I appreciate that. I'm going to be on Monday night. That's going to be the next show. It's called Simplicity. It's called Simplicity, and what we basically do is take complex issues and try to simplify them so we can move on and evolve. Major issues we talk about, and because I believe simplicity is intelligence, and I think all the details really mess us up. So that's why I created the show.
Well, we'll have to keep up with you, or we'll follow you.
I appreciate it. I'm going to follow you guys, too. There's my link right there on the chat. I'm going to go ahead and follow you right now. And I'm going to continue to listen, but I got to get ready to go here at 6 o'clock. I got to go do a ghost tour.
All right.
Oh, by the way, you could say yes or no or whatever, or no. Was it Ghost Lab, Brad or Barry, that you about that?
No, it was on the Travel Channel.
Oh, okay, that's right. They were on.
Yeah, I know what it is.
Okay. All right, but that was it. All right, thanks a lot.
Thanks again, Brian.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks.
That was a pretty good story.
Yeah, it was.
That was interesting.
At least
Yeah.
I listen to all ghost stories, so yeah, I wish more people need to call in because I just love listening to them.
We'll have to have him as a guest on our show sometime, or we could go on his show or something.
Yeah, he'd be a good interviewer.
Well, ironically enough, I have a week vacation from work, and I was actually going to go to Galveston, Texas. Ironically. That was kind of weird. Well, yeah, if I ever go there, all I have to do is ghost tours.
It'd be very fun to do ghost tours. I wish I could do them. Did you say he gets paid to do that? Is that his job?
Yeah, he said he gets paid to tell ghost stories.
See, that's what I want to do. That's what I need.
Well, the Las Vegas, the Haunted Vegas tours was hiring for a tour guide, and I was going to apply for that. That'd be kind of cool.
Well, you should do that. That'd be awesome.
And then Brent would have to go on the tour, right, Frank?
Exactly.
Brent will go on the tour, and he will be so amazed. I can't think of anything funny, but he will be amazed. Well, I'll tell you, Brent, don't you think that Brian would make a good guest for our show in the future sometime?
Yeah, it sounds like he knows what he's talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to hear more about the tours. I said, what is that noise?
Well, I think Nick's going to work or something. There's people in his background.
Yeah, I'm going on my way to work, and there's a bunch of little kids singing and dancing and stuff in the background.
Yeah.
They're like, la la la, you know.
Well, I have an interesting thing I was going to bring up. I found an article. It says unique life form is found. It's half plant, half animal. It's a type of a bacteria or a microorganism. And I was going to say, what do you guys think of that? Because I don't think they've ever discovered any of those before.
Wait, what now? I'm sorry, I'm chatting.
They found an organism that's half plant, half animal.
Oh. And this, I don't think I've ever heard anything. So this is the first thing they've ever found like this?
Yeah, I would say it's pretty interesting.
That is.
What was
half
that?
plant. Half
Half
plant,
plant, you know, killer plants that.
It's like a Bulbasaur or something.
Because we had a show on man-eating plants like a year ago. I guess we got to have a part 2 sooner or later and include that on there.
Yeah, that's interesting. I know for a while back I heard that they discovered some type of bacteria, I think that can survive in methane or it was a bacteria whose main body composition was not made out of carbon. For the longest time we thought all life had to be carbon-based. But even here on this planet, we've discovered this bacteria which was not carbon-based. So that defied pretty much some of the cardinal rules of biology. So discovering a half-plant, half-animal specimen does not sound too far from, reality, or doesn't sound very unreasonable.
But do you think that there could be something bigger than a microorganism that would be half plant, half animal?
Yeah, not that I know of, but it's completely possible, because obviously if you look at a plant that pretty much everyone knows about, the Venus flytrap, that thing can detect movement, and it literally moves around itself a little bit, and it's one of the only plants to eat something for its nutrients. It doesn't just produce its own from...
You have 20 seconds to comply.
Exactly. It doesn't just produce its nutrients for photosynthesis, but it gets part of its nutrition from actually engaging in carnivorous behavior. So there could be a plant out there deep in the jungles of Amazon, Africa, Asia, where it could be half animal, half plant.
Yeah. Well, speaking of plants, I found an article that says they think Gigantopithecus died out because of malnutrition, because their teeth weren't formed to eat other things, is what it's saying. Because they think that they ate dried fruit, grass, and bamboo, and they think that the combination of the sugary foods, it said, made their teeth really bad to where they couldn't eat anymore, is what this article is saying.
Oh, the dinosaur couldn't get its dentures, that's why it died.
Do you think this could be it, Brent, if Gigantopithecus died off like that? Or do you think that this is not counting modern-day Bigfoot, of course?
Talking about the prehistoric Gigantopithecus?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it could have died out, but I mean, it's obviously some remnants of it still survived.
I know, but the article was saying,
theory,
do you
anyway.
think that they could have died out because of their teeth were bad, basically, is what the article's saying?
Yeah.
But isn't that what their teeth, I mean, you said because it was something sugary sweet that made their teeth go bad? Is that what you said?
Yeah, the article says they think that the food they ate damaged their teeth to the point to where they couldn't eat and had like a nasty die-off, is what it says.
But weren't they eating what they were supposed to be eating? I mean, isn't that what they were made to be eating, like plants and berries or whatever? I guess I just don't understand why. I would think they would develop something that's what they would develop in their diets or something, and they would evolve, and that's what they eat. I mean, I don't know. I just find it weird that they're dying off of bad.
Nick eats berries and grass and he'll know.
Yeah, you know, and you got to brush your teeth at least 3, maybe 4. You got to brush it at least 4 times a day when you eat berries. Those things are packed with a lot of sugar, man. And when the grass gets caught between your teeth, it's
But no, Nick. But you said you brush before the berries, but you brush after the bamboo, right?
Yeah, after the bamboo, because the bamboo is kind of like sugar cane. It just has a lot. I'm totally BSing you guys.
Well, I kept on losing my voice. Well, next week's show, we're going to have about Men in Black. Well, we were going to do it this week, but I ended up putting it for next week.
I'll definitely have to do that one, because Men in Black. I've been wanting to do a show on the Men in Black. So.
There's a Men in Black 3 coming out soon, you know, so Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones are hunting aliens again, so I'll have to talk about that.
Yeah, I doubt I'll see that, but...
Yeah, the Men in Black, the ones that'll be paying us a visit pretty soon.
Pretty much for
the Men in Black. I have an interesting thing I was going to bring up. I think I should save it for the show. I don't know if Brent knows what I'm talking about with our case that we're doing.
The case?
Yeah, where we had a run-in with the Men in Black twice. I was telling you about.
Oh, yeah.
The phone call.
I remember.
Did you save that for the Men in Black show?
Yeah.
Oh, well, to make a long story short, we had a Men in Black incident recently, but I'll have to tell that next week.
Really? You guys, you think you saw one? Is that what you're saying?
No, they didn't. I didn't see them, but I was contacted by them personally twice.
Oh, okay. I look forward to hearing that story then.
Yeah, because me and Nick, but our whole team basically, but mainly me, researches this UFO crash that happened in northern Nevada, and about the 2 years that we've been investigating it, we had 2 run-ins with the Men in Black, but I'll have to say that next week because
they knocked on Jeremy's door, and then standing in his door, a couple of MPs, and they brought out some zip ties like, "You're gonna have to come with me, son. We can make this easy, or we can make this hard."
But anyways, I found an article. It says the United States has one of the biggest UFO sightings skyrockets in the last 20 years, it says. It says there's MUFON reported 500 reports in the first 12 days of January alone, is what it says. And I guess to make things better, it says Nevada's one of the hot spots, of course, is where me and Tim live.
Yeah, it seems the desert locations. What is with UFOs in the desert locations? Is it because there's less people around or something? That's, I guess, what I would assume.
Well, if you consider that Area 51's about an hour and a half from Las Vegas, which is where most of us live.
Yeah.
There's probably a lot of man-made UFOs, like ones that the government made.
Yeah.
That's what I think most of them are around this area, at least. Because if you look on a map, it said something like 60 or 70%. I could think 60% of the state of Nevada is owned by the government, and the Area 51, the general base itself, is located around all of the major cities in the state. So that's my personal opinion.
Well, in Boogleger, they had the Papoose Lake out there, too, where they test the alien technology of the reverse-engineered alien aircraft.
Yeah. I was going to say, well, Brent, I was going to say, since you've been to Rachel with us, don't you think that Rachel's in a location to where basically no matter where they fly those man-made UFOs, they're going to be seen by some major city somewhere?
Yeah, at least somewhere someone will see it. I mean,
because you figure Vegas is to the south, Reno is to the west, and then Tonopah is right basically down to the south again. Then you have Elko to the north, and then you have Ely to the far right.
Yeah.
And don't give me the eyes as in Rachel.
The most important written, so I'm disappointed we never filmed that guy, though. That would have been the greatest thing to put on our website.
Well, when we called Claude?
No, don't give me the eyes. We should have had him
on
our
yeah.
our documentary. That may have made the best documentary ever.
Don't give me.
Did someone say that to you guys?
Oh, yeah. We got to have Brent do his impression.
What's that?
You got to have me do your impression. Don't give me the eyes.
Oh, yeah. Like, well, we walked into the Rachel, the alien, and then we checked in, and then we ordered some food, and then there was like these two dudes. It was like a man and his son, and we were talking to the lady about how we're looking for UFOs and stuff, and then he we have our backs to him, and then he just yelled, "Don't give me the eyes!" It's like,
don't give me the eyes, the alien eye. He's talking about aliens' eyes. He didn't want to eat them. And he thought that the lady was... And it was kind of obvious, though, by the way they were talking and their demeanor that they were on drugs. But that's one of the weirdest people out of 10 years of doing this. One of the weirdest people we've ever seen to date.
Yeah.
That's
but Brent by far doesn't
have to regret that we didn't film that guy.
Yeah, when you investigate the paranormal, sometimes it's the people that are stranger than what you're hunting for, so...
Yeah.
Well, because
we've
seen a lot of weird people traveling around the country, but for some reason the weirdest one of all was just in our own backyard, which was kind of weird. We've been basically coast to coast, basically.
Yeah, how about that guy Fatback at Rachel?
Oh, yeah, and then there's another guy that was nicknamed Fatback. That's a whole other story. We'll probably save that for the Men in Black.
Why do we have to say that for the Men in Black? So that has nothing to do with it.
Because.
Fatback. He's a paranormal phenomenon.
Well, we're probably going to go back to Rachel on our trip coming up, so hopefully we'll see that guy again.
Are you guys mostly going to the same places as before?
This year is half of a repeat and half of them new places this year.
So we got to go back to our secret place. Every 2 years, I got to go back to a Passport location.
Well, we have about 5 minutes left in the show, and I was going to talk a little bit about team news, things that we're doing for the last 5 minutes. But anyways, I was going to say I updated our website yesterday, bigfootspad.com. I updated a couple of the text things on there and updated a little bit of our archived cases in case anyone wonders. We are fast approaching our 100th case, so that should be exciting.
Yay.
We're going to go back to Brent's turf and go down to Palmdale probably in March and going to investigate there.
Yay.
We're going to investigate, and Brent, he promised I will find a ghost. If I don't, he said he's going to give me his car. But
that's quite a bet right there.
Well,
now remember the free shoes that you would Tim said people get if they saw a ghost or something?
A USO, remember?
Oh, in USO. If you saw USO, Brent would give you $1,000 or I'd give you free shoes.
Do you still have your shoe company?
No, well, I suspended it for now because it was just too much startup costs after I really got into the grit of it because there's so many licenses and different things you have to get in order to sell things.
And now they're selling them on the black market.
Yeah, just for now.
The Men in Black came and visited your business.
Exactly, and they told me I had to shut down or else.
Stop selling shoes.
I know Cool, and Cool's teaming up with a good balanced breakfast.
Yeah, that's pretty weird. That's a nice new one right there, Jared.
That's Mr. T, too, which makes it better. But, yeah, we have about 2 minutes left in the show, and we're going to end the show a little bit early. But, again, next week's show, we're going to talk about the Men in Black. It's going to be 3 o'clock p.m. Pacific time. And I'd like to thank Brian for calling in. I'd like to thank Becky and my other co-hosts that usually go on with me on most shows. And, again, I'll let my co-hosts say their goodbyes. Today was a pretty good show. And thanks for listening, everyone.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
Yeah, have a good night.